Hey guys, William Hanson here again with part 3 of the Primus Omnilite tie stove and the Optimus Polaris OptiFuel stove. I'm going to go over the most basic fuel that most backpacking stoves use, the isobutane canisters. This is pretty common for anybody that backpacks. They probably know what these are. Both these stoves work with this type of fuel, and they're both pretty simple. You just thread it onto the supply valve. The Primus they both have two valves, but the Primus has both valves attached in line, where the Optimus has one valve on the pump and one valve at the stove. So if you're using canisters, it actually makes this setup a little bit lighter even than the Optimus, because you can leave the one valve at home. When you're lighting the Primus here, they want you to turn the canister valve on and then slowly turn the valve on, and it's got some little side area, and you can turn it on, light it with a lighter, everything functions pretty much like you'd expect it to. You can turn it way down to simmer, way up and boil fast. It's a little noisy, but I'm not too terribly worried about that. One thing I can say about the system that I prefer on the Optimus is the valve comes straight off the top, and there's no supports for you to turn the canister upside down. And anybody that uses these canisters knows that in colder weather or in higher altitudes, things of that nature, these canisters tend to work better when you turn them upside down. After you get them going. So in order to do that, you'll have to rig up some rocks or sticks or something to hold it upside down, if that's what you want to do. Not a big deal, just something to note. After you pull the canister off, they want you to open one of the valves to let the air expel, or the additional fuel expel rather. And that's pretty much that. Don't touch it for a minute because it's hot. Same basic principle on the Optimus here. Make sure you don't cross thread them, and make sure you don't over tighten them. I will say, read the instructions. If you don't, you can almost burn your eyebrows off. Or so I'm told. Why I say that is because, yes, while these canisters do work better, these are little pot supports I was talking about that you flip them out and then it just holds it upside down. While they do work better upside down, you don't want to light them like that. You need to have your stove heat up first in Vapour Mode. That's what the instructions call this, Vapour Mode. Using it like normal, shake up your can, and get it lit first and get it warming up. Once it's warmed up, you can flip it over, and then it's going to be pushing more liquid through there, but it's vaporizing at the stove. If you don't do that, big flare up, flames this tall, almost burn your eyebrows. So, got it set up like normal. There's no valve to turn on here. You turn your valve on a little bit. They have these openings here in the bottom. Does not work well to try to light it from the top. You want to light it through one of those openings, and it works actually really well. But turn on. Here it's going. Flip. And the same Lowering adjustability. Flame seems slightly more finicky at low when it's lower than on the Primus. And we need to crank it up too. It actually seems like a bigger flame. I have no scientific evidence of that other than just what I'm looking at. But you can shut it all the way down, and this one you don't. When you pull apart, you don't have the valve to open back up. You want to make sure when you're pulling the canister off, either your stove is cool or you're doing it away from the stove, because a little bit of gas does escape and can ignite again. My observations in doing this a couple times now is this valve on the Primus does seem slightly superior. It's got a little bit more fine control, and just a slightly more solid valve. The lower flame did seem a little less, I don't even know, sputtery on the Primus than on the Optimus. I have no idea why exactly, but I can only attribute it to the fact that the Optimus uses one jet, whereas the Primus uses 3 different jets sized appropriately for whatever fuel you're using. So this is probably a good middle ground size, and this is probably more sized appropriately. That's just my guess, though. But both function very well. You could cook on both of them, or just heat up water, whatever your purposes are. Okay. Next, I will be doing white gas, and that's going to be using the liquid canisters, and we'll see that in part 4.